Greetings all, wherever you at on this beautiful planet. We just want to say greetings. We want to greet you. Welcome to Moments in Mastery. It's another Masternomics class, Master Your Destiny, where we go over self-mastery, personal development, uh, business, entrepreneurship, information that helps you take your life to a next level. That's what the company Masternomics is all about. We're all about helping people raise their vibrations and go to the next level in life, wherever you're at. This is Martin Christopher Glenn, Chief Martin Christopher Glenn. I'm Chief Sona in the Tolan traditional area in Northern Ghana. This is my wife. My wife is also the co-founder of Masternomics, and she's the vice president. So I'm gonna let my wife greet you.
Well, I just want to say greetings to everyone. I am honored to be here. I'm excited about today's class. I'm excited about just this journey alone. Today we have a lot of goodness to give you. Like he was saying, I am Sabrina Glenn. I am the co-founder of Masternomics. I just am who I am.
Yes. And so what we are is we're people that have made the decision to live our life purpose, and that's to help people reach their highest potential. And so if you haven't checked out some of the classes that we have, you can go through. We have numerous classes. There's a lot of information. We dig deep into topics. We have recently done 19 classes on the universal laws. If you have not checked out those classes, check them out. You know, we went through all the universal laws and how they pertain to you, right? So the universal laws, they govern us all, right? They govern us all. We're talking about the universal laws. We're not talking about man's law or scriptural law or biblical law or any law that you personally choose to abide by. We're talking about universal laws, which govern all, right? And so we're talking in that universal aspect. And so we broke down those laws, and we went into in depth how they relate to us in everyday living, in our personal lives, and also in the world of business. And if you notice with Masternomics, we dig into business because we're all about freedom. And one of the forms of freedom is financial freedom and economically being able to empower yourself. So when we're talking about self-mastery, we're talking about mastering yourself in every aspect. So Masternomics is personal development, professional development, and profession is whatever your profession is, however you feed your family. And so we love to emphasize that entrepreneurship is the way to financial freedom. It's the way to free yourself. It's the way to resurrect yourself and your family. And what we teach is, you are the one that can save yourself. We're not looking for anyone to save us. So, today we're going to have a good discussion. My wife and I, we, of course, it's great to have a wife that's also a business partner and just a partner in general. So we discuss a lot of things to help people develop. And so, I myself am a winner. I'm a winner. I'm sure my wife would describe herself as a winner. Hopefully you describe yourself as a winner. But to be a winner does not mean you have never lost. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest winners. Tom Brady is one of the greatest winners, and that's in the sports world. Jay-Z is one of the greatest winners in the music industry. Who's some more winners? Give me some winners, Brandon, somewhere. Give me some winners that everybody can relate to, winners.
I guess like the Obamas, like they're winners. Like when you look at
You won. Became the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're winners. But like you were saying, in some aspects they have lost. They you know what, that they never lost if you really think about it, because you don't lose until you quit, right?
That's
And
right.
so they took those L's and they turned them all into lessons.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
a winner, let's dig into what is the mindset of a winner, right? Because you said something important. You named some winners, and you say, well, they didn't really lose. So let's say Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan lost a lot of games, but when he won big. He won the championship. He's never lost a championship. So even
Mhm.
though he has lost before, he's known as a winner. Before we saw him as a winner, he had to see himself as a winner,
Mhm.
right? And so the most important thing is not what people think about you,
It's
it's
how
what
you
you
think
think
about
about yourself,
it. Mhm.
right? You feel me? Right. So, give me some insight on that, Sabrina, as far as like the mindset of a winner.
Okay. Well, the mindset of a winner. So your mindset is really just like your psychology of how you view yourself, how you feel about yourself. And so the mindset of a winner is to know that no matter what is happening, you are still a winner. It's saying, okay, this may not have went in my favor the way that I desired it to be, but I am going to take this, I am going to dissect it, and I'm going to see how it's going to serve me. I'm going to see where I was off at it. And so a winner mindset is to say, you know what, no matter what, I am in beast mode. I am a winner. Like you have to identify with the win way more than you identify with any of the failures or any of the craziness or the challenges. You got to be able to say, you know what, no matter what I have to go through, no matter what happens against me, like no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. You have to know it with everything in you. And so a winner mindset is saying, you know what, I am going to look at this in a way that serves me no matter what. I'm going to look at this in a way of saying, you know what, I'm going to use everything to motivate me. And so that's what winners do. Winners take anything that's coming against them and they alchemize it. They're masters of alchemy because they're masters of themselves. And so they take it, they reframe it, they rework it in their minds to serve them.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so, you mentioned the term alchemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that don't know, alchemy is the transmutation of molecules. That sounds deep, right? But really, what are molecules? Everything is composed of molecules. So to transmutate something is to take something or take energy and put it in a different form. Okay. So the mindset of a winner, what she was saying is, right, you use alchemy. You take a situation, right? Because everything is energy. Everything is energy,
Mhm.
right?
Everything.
But energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy is. So you just transforming it. So I don't care, like the worst situation you're in. And if you're in business and you're in business for yourself, you're going to experience a tough situation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But winners take that situation and say, how can I learn from this? Right. So you take that situation and you transform it. That's alchemy. You're changing it into something different. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You're changing those molecules, right? You're changing the energy. The energy could be your business partner. In a personal
Mm-hmm.
relationship, the energy could be your wife, it could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. How can you shift that energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mindset of a winner says, I have the ability to get what I want. Okay. It is
Mm-hmm.
an abundant mindset because that mindset says that I am not without. I just have to look at it from another perspective and attack it from another way. Okay. That's the mindset of a winner. People who have a lack mindset or a actual loser is somebody that always looks at it, the glass half empty, so to speak. They look at it and they say, oh, this is happening in my life. Um, that's why I can't win. That's why I can't succeed. That's why I didn't get the job, and they give up. Right. So instead of using what they have to transmutate or change the situation, they dwell in that situation. Thus, that situation controls them. So when we're talking about self-mastery or mastery, you have to understand who and what you are. What is the self? Because when you look in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror, you got to say, who and what are you? If you
No,
just
that's it.
view yourself as a physical being, you're limited. But if you view yourself as a spiritual being, you're unlimited because you realize all of us have spirit. Ain't nothing here that don't have spirit, right? How can your spirit affect someone else's spirit? So if you're in business, how can your spirit affect your employees to make them perform better? If you're married, how can your spirit affect the spirit of your wife or your husband to make them perform better, right? Okay. So it's all about having the mindset of a winner and understanding you have the ability to win. you have the ability to get whatever you want. It's truly a mindset. It's truly how you feel about yourself. Who and what are you to you? You know, because me, myself, all my life, people told me who I was. And their version of me is not the version that you see. Right? Because their version of me was, you're just a minority. You're just a black man, and this is all you're gonna ever be able to be. That's their version. They're entitled to feel how they want to feel. Right. But their perception is not my reality. My reality is how I feel about myself. Right. And so when you talk and back to those people that we just call successful or winners, if you were to research them, if you were to have a conversation with them, right, and you were to ask them how they feel, all of them will say they feel limitless. All of them will say they believe in themselves. All of them will say there's nothing that they can't do if they put their mind to it, right? All of them will say that. They probably got different religions. Some might be black, some might be white, some might be born on this side of the planet, some might be born on that side of the planet. But why do they all say that same thing, right? Because they're tapped into something, the mindset of a winner. They realize that, and they stop worrying about what people say on the outside. You feel me? Right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the mindset of a winner. Anything you want to add? You know.
It's a vibration. It's a frequency. Like you're saying, everything have molecules, but everything have a vibration. Everything have a frequency. And so it's like those people, they're tapped into the same frequency. They all have a certain way of how they feel about themselves. It may not be the exact same way, but they all have some type of reverence about how they see themselves. They all know that they're more than just human. They know that they're more than just this physical. There's not a massively successful person that I know personally that don't acknowledge, like, you know, like the spiritual realm, in a way of saying like they know how to utilize it. And so like they all just have it, they all tap into the same type of frequency. Like successful people, they think the same type of, you know, thoughts in a certain way. Like they move in a certain way. Like, you know, like most successful people have certain habits. They have certain things that they do daily, or things they stay away from, because and those are the things that make them successful. Like most successful people I know, they have morning routines, they read certain books, they have certain things they do before they go to bed, they all meditate in a certain way, and so they all have a certain frequency that they tapped into.
And so, like, when you look at it like that, right, and you think of it like that, so for everyday people, you're like, you know, so how do you tell me how this is explained to someone who they haven't read a book on self-mastery? They barely made it out of high school, and all they know about making money is to work for someone, right? And what you know, just working for someone probably is never going to get you the things that you want. So how do you relate that message, and tell somebody about having the mindset of a winner when that's all they have, right? What I just described. How do you get that message to them in simple terms?
Okay, I would say in the most simplest way I can relay the message is you have to pretty much just turn a blind eye to what everyone else around you, what people have said about you, the things that you're seeing, and you have to pretty much go into like a meditational state within yourself. And so it's like that's why I teach, and I always do a lot of meditations on the web, on Masternomics pages, is because affirmations is all about speaking that life into yourself. And so when you're speaking these things, you're sending out a vibration. And so when you speak, I teach, I would say the first step I would say is just pretty much, first you need to know what you want. And once you know what you want, then you need to speak life into it as if it's already is. And so when you're speaking it, you also need to feel the vibrations and feel the feeling. And so feel like it's true for you. And so like no matter what it seems like, things like how things are appearing on the outside, you need to pretty much have reverence on how you want them to be, and speak and act like it, claim it. In the Bible, it says that let the sick say that, no,
Let
no,
the weak
let the
say
weak say
I'm
I am
strong.
strong. Yeah, so
Mhm.
let the weak say I am strong. And so you don't just state it as it is, you speak it how you want it to be. So you got to have some level of faith. You have to have some level of understanding that there's something greater than you, that there's a greater power. And so once you realize that there's a greater power, then you work with that greater power and you speak it, you feel it, you embody it until pretty much it comes your way. Because if you change the way you're looking at things, if you change the way you're speaking about things, the things that you're looking at and the things that you're speaking about is going to change. And so if even right now, if you're feeling aggravated, if you're feeling mad, if you're feeling like about something, if you change your psychology, if you change how you are standing, if you change like what you're saying to yourself. So let's say something just really aggravated you. I should have did this at the airport. But if something really aggravated you, then
Right.
you need to pretty much get to yourself and like, and you just stand in a way and you just be like, I got this, I'm strong, I remember who I am, I remember my power. But there's no way that you can stand in a good psychology and speak life with a smile on your face and it don't shift your vibration. It don't shift how you are seeing things. It don't shift how you are viewing things. And so that's the same with affirmations. When you're speaking it, and when what you're saying, what you're commanding, is going to start working on you. It's going to start shifting. It may not be something you see a change in within the first day or whatever, or when you say it, but over time, with keeping that faith, then it is going to start changing for you. And so I would say, if you one of the first things is you need to start, just first be aware of what it is that you want, what it is that you want to change, and then start living in that state. Another thing, definitely make sure that you are around people that reflect that. You have to, when you're on the journey of trying to shift your vibration and shift what's going on in your reality, it's so important to monitor the type of people you're around, because what entertains you is what's going to train you. And so if you're trying to offset negative things, you need to stop watching it, stop paying attention to it, and start making sure that you're being mindful of what you are paying attention to, being mindful of what you're watching on TV, the music you're listening to, the words you're saying, the thoughts that you're thinking. And so be very conscious of your consciousness, be very conscious of what you're thinking about, how you're moving, the energy that you're giving off.
Yeah. Nah,
You need to
I
find a better,
100%.
easier way.
Nah,
I need to find an easier way of breaking
nah.
it, of
But
breaking
you
it
know,
down.
the thing, no, that's that's the problem with us as a people. We
Mhm,
want an easy route, right? And there's some people teach different things. There's some people that say, well, go the easy route, da da da. But what I found in life is stuff, a lot of things that come easy, you don't appreciate them.
mm,
When you have to fight for something, you appreciate it a lot more. And so, I've always lived by that philosophy. I don't want nothing for free. I don't like nobody giving me nothing for free. I
you
want
always
to
say that.
earn everything, right? Because if I earned it, you respect me, right? And more than anything, I respect what I did because I know I earned that. It's like a victory, you know. But so what I wanted to add too, because you said some good things, right? Because the key with information in this aspect is to make it align with you, whether you like
Mhm,
the word easy or whatnot, but we just want to make it align with people. So there's a lot of people that are kind of stuck. You mentioned
mhm,
frequency. People that are trying to get to the next frequency. Everybody's not dirt poor, but there's a lot of people that they're just kind of coasting through life. Napoleon Hill called them drifters. They're people that just drift, right? You know, people are not living to their highest potential. Yet they're paying their bills. And anybody out there, if this pertains to you, let it touch you, right? Hope it resonates with you. There's plenty of people that are paying their bills. They keep the lights on, take care of the kids, they work a job, uh, but they're not living a fulfilled life. They're not necessarily happy with themselves. Somewhere
mhm,
inside, they know they could be doing better, right? But a lot of these people are victims in this aspect of their environment. And really, I want to take out the word victim. They're products of their environment.
mm,
What I mean is that if you change your surroundings, things will change. So a lot of people are stuck in this mode of they're the smartest person in their circle. Okay. And I train entrepreneurs and I talk to entrepreneurs and I help people start businesses. a lot of people come in my office and they're stuck. They've been in their business for 5, 10 years, but they're really making the same amount of money. And I say, well, what are you doing differently that you did in year 2 of your business, and now you're in year 6? What are you doing differently? Well, what do you mean? Where are you getting your information from? Who are you hanging around? Who are your friends? Do you have business associates? Well, yeah, my partner, he been down since day one. Let's push the day ones to the side. Because if you're going to elevate, if you're going to change your mindset and you want to have a mindset of a winner, your friends need to change, right? So if you was making 10 years ago, you was making 30,000 or whatever a year, 10 and we're the next 10 years and you're still making 30 a year, your friends need to change if you want to move up in life. The people that you're listening to needs to change. The information that you're taking in needs to change. Everything has to upgrade. It has to update, right? Your brain is a computer, right? Your brain is a holographic and holographic computer, right? You're not using the same computer that you used 10 years ago. Those things are obsolete. So if your information is still coming from the same people that you was around 10 years ago, and they haven't upgraded, right? You're in a dead state. You're not in a productive state, right? If you're the smartest person in your circle, who is your circle? That's the 4 or 5 people you talk to on a regular basis. If you're the smartest person in there, where can you really go? How high can you really go, right? If you don't have a mentor, can you really elevate? Okay, so there's a reason why in business there's so many sole proprietors that when I look at their financial statement, I'm like, you could work a job and make this because you've been doing the same thing, because their mindset hasn't shifted, right? So you got to move that mind. Your mindset has to shift. On a simple way, the way you can shift that, you can shift the things that you see every day. That's the people you talk to. That's the music you listen to. That's the information that's coming into you, right? You got those things should change and you should grow. Okay? What happens with us as people is we get stuck. We think there's only one answer to a problem, or we say, this worked for my mama, so I'm gonna stick with it. This worked for my daddy, so I'm gonna stick with it, right? Really, that is a psychologically sick statement, because the world your mother and father lived in is not the world that you live in. And 10, 20 years down the line, that the world you're living in now will change, because the only constant is change. So the people that set up and built this society and set up the systems that we're going off of, they created systems to keep you like a little rat. So that's the problem that me as a teacher and an educator has with such organized religion. Because what it does is it stifles you from thinking, because it says, this is what we gave you, stick to this till you die. And so it takes out your ability to use cognitive reasoning to think, right? And to read something and say, I'm going to read this book, this story, whatever book it is, whatever holy book you believe in, and say, it has to be able to apply to me in my life right now in this year that I'm living in. If it can't apply to me in my life right now in this year that I'm living in, what good is it for me, right? For you, you see? Now, if you take that book and you apply it for you in your life, and it does you good because you apply it and it's helping you elevate in life, then that's good for you, right? So when people need to shift their mindset, because we're talking about mental shifting, we start off with just the term, the mindset of a winner, but it's really just shifting your mindset, right? Because you're a physical being, you need to see physical things. If you don't shift, if you don't change your environment, other people will. That's fact. If you don't shift your environment, other people will. You know how many people complaining right now and they say they They taking over this neighborhood. They say we can't build here. They say we can't do that. They made this rule because you have given up your power to shift your life in every aspect. Someone else will shift you. I've always had a problem with that minimum wage, right? This is something somebody agrees, say this is the minimum wage. We give you at least this amount. And people accept these things, right? What is that? If you don't stand up for yourself and demand something, somebody gonna give you something, and guess what their excuse is? Well, I mean, not enough of them demand anything, right? So we're talking about shifting your mind, right? And that's and as we're talking, what we getting into? Knowing yourself. See, if you know yourself or who you really are, then you really realize that if you're going to the longer you're going to live here, you should be shifting. You should always be shifting. You should always be moving. When you think of the greatest successful people, a lot of them started out one way, you know, and I'm just talking about, this is a simple aspect, whether you like these people or not. We're just talking about basic aspect of, you know, what we're talking about success. So if you look at somebody like Michael Jordan, right? My kids wear Jordan sneakers. They've never seen him play one game, right? So to them, he's known more as this guy with these shoes that everybody loves, less than he's known for the guy that I knew, because I watched him play the game, right? Then he retired, right? Then he became a general manager of a basketball company. Then he became an owner, right? Then he owns race car companies. He owns the shoe company. Now he's looked at as just a big business mogul. He shifted his ability to shift, right? Will Smith. If I ask anybody who Will Smith is right now, 90% gonna say, oh, the movie star, Will Smith. I mean, who else would he? To me, Will Smith is the rapper. He started, I remember before there was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I had the album, right? DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. His name wasn't even first then. It was the DJ was first back then. He was a rapper, right? But so I live this life and I seen how these people's lives shifted. These are people, forget how we feel about them. They're people that tap in to their internal power and they learn how to shift. Whatever they decide to do, that's on them. We ain't talking about that. We're just talking about, are you able to tap in? And so know thyself, right? It's on the walls of Egypt. You got to know who you are, right? You're here to shift. You're not here to be the same, right? So when we're talking about entrepreneurship, what we always tell people, Sabrina, you got to be able to move. You got to be able to change, right? She always tell me when I go through tough situations, I'm trying to figure something out. She'll come in the office, I'm scratching my head. I be worrying and this and that. She always said, well, baby, you gotta move that cheese. Don't you always tell me that?
Yep.
Yeah. She always tells me I have to move my cheese, right? And with understanding that, I have to move it, right? So we have to know thyself, right? What does that mean, though? What does know thyself mean?
Oh, to know yourself is pretty much, it's just like it is what it is. It's to know thyself. It's to know you better than you know anyone else, or know you better than you allow other people to even know you. To know yourself, to me, I felt like I didn't find God until I found myself, and I found myself when I found God, because we're one, we're the same. And so when I look at knowing myself, it's saying, hey, I remember that I am one with God. I remember the power that I have within me. I remember that I am one with source energy. I remember that I am the first and I am the last. I am the beginning and I am the end. I am the alpha and I am the omega. And so knowing myself is to know God. And that's how I look.
Right, right. That's a powerful way. That's a powerful way to, you know, it is what it is, man. It
It
is
is
what
what
it
it
is, you
is.
know.
I don't know another way to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, that's beautiful. You know, the thing is, you know, because I talk to people from all walks of life, and we could say the same thing in different ways, right? So when you're telling someone, know thyself, on one level, it's just know yourself, know who you are. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you start with that, if you think about this, people, I know mechanics that can break down a car. I mean, break it down all the way to the little wires, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
doctors that know the human body and they can dissect it and this and that, right? There's veterinarians that know about all types of animals, okay? But when I ask them who and what are
Ooh.
they just sit there like, dumbfounded.
I can
Mhm.
only imagine.
Yeah. Because the thing is, the people that set these systems up, the ones that set up your school system, your judicial system, your penal system, right? All of these systems, the education system, the people that set up these systems designed it for you to learn about everything except for you.
Except yourself. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we know all types of stuff, but most people don't know the most important thing, and that's us.
Mm-hmm.
All the other
Baby,
stuff is layers. What'd you say?
as a coach,
Mhm.
the number one thing you ask anybody you work with, right? And you say, what do you want? Because I can't help you reach a goal if I don't know what it is. So what do you want out of the percentage of the people that you see, and you asking them what do they want? What's the main answer you get from that?
Well, first of all, a lot of what I get is I don't know.
No. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I get that so much. I don't know.
I just want to
And
be rich.
right. Or yeah, or
I just
vague.
want to be happy.
Right. I want to be rich. I want to be happy. I want a lot of money. Right. Um, those are the answers that you get from everyday people.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that's the masses because you got to think these systems that we were just talking about designed it to be that way. The people that made the education system, I just did a class on it. You can go right here. You can on Masternomics on the YouTube. I forget which class, but check them all out. But I was talking about the education system and how John D. Rockefeller, who's was a billionaire tycoon, all this money, helped fund the education system that we're still in today, right? And he's known for having a saying that he created the plant system that we had the factory system, right? And him and they revolutionized the assembly line and things like that for workers, right? And they built America, which at the time was the nation of workers. He said he wanted to build a nation of workers, not thinkers. So that's why he funded the education system. This ain't me making this up. Go research it. The General Education Board, right? And where the money came from and the education system as we know it today. But why would you want a nation of workers and not thinkers? Because you're just trying to produce something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the people that created the system created it to make you a worker, not for you to think. And so if I'm going to make you a worker, I'm going to block off your ability to think for yourself. I'm going to give you everything, right? Actually, I'm going to give you the choices. If you even look at the way we're tested, we're given multiple choice. So you're given the options to pick from. You psychologically are tricked into thinking you're making a choice. No, you're not making a choice because somebody laid it out in front of you. It's kind of like right. You're being taught what to think instead of how to think. So think about your political parties. You're gonna be Democrat or you'll be Republican.
That's
Right.
it.
That's how we're programmed, right? So people have given you something, and then you pick from what they gave you. And so then when you start to think, people start to say, well, I'm gonna vote, I'll take the lesser of two evils. As if you don't have another
That's the
option.
only choice. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but this was done to us to control our thinking. If you start thinking,
I
there's
remember you used
nothing
to tell
you
me
can't do. What'd you say?
multiple choice is not a choice. You told me before, well, I think like when we first started dating, you was like multiple choice is not a choice. And I was like, what do you mean? But now I get it. It's not a choice because it's like you don't really have a choice. Just like when you with your kids, you like, I'm not gonna give you a choice of like 100 things. It's like you're gonna get A or you're gonna get B, but that's it. It's
Right.
not it's not your choice. It's still my choice, but I'm only gonna either allow you to do A or B, but that's it.
That's it. That's right.
That's it.
Yeah. And guess what? That's okay for a child,
Mm-hmm.
right? But even the Bible says, when I was a child, I thought I was a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm a man. I put away childish things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So most people live their life still in a childlike state where someone decides the rules and laws that govern them,
Mm-hmm.
decides where you should work, they decide what you should believe, your belief system. These things have been decided because somebody laid it in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But true freedom is when you start to use your mind. And so that's why right now you see a big push, definitely in the education system, of homeschooling, alternative schooling, right? Because we are no longer in an industrial indoctrinated age, we're in the information age. So information is all over this planet. But the thing is, we as a people got to catch up, right? We got to realize who and what we are. We got to know thyself. We got to know who and what we are. Who are you? If I
Mm-hmm.
ask somebody who made you, the first thing people say, they either say my mama. If I say who made your mama, we could keep going on and on. Some people might just say, God made me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever made you is what you are. Okay. Whatever made you is what you are. Okay. So you have to know yourself. If God made you, who and what are you? You are God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mentally. Now, let's look at that on a higher aspect and not the garbage aspect. If you're dealing with a child like mine, you're going to say, well, I can't make water. I can't do this. We're talking about what you can control, right? You can control what you can control, and that's your life, right? Because biblically, you're made in the image and likeness of God, okay? People are quick to say, I'm a child of God. Well, my son is a child of me. When he grows, he will be a man, right? Not just, but what makes him a man is not the size and the stature. What makes him a man is the utilization of the mind. So if if I'm a child of God, when I grow with the utilization of the mind, then I become God, right? And then that's why the scripture says, now the man's eyes are open, he has become one of us. You become a God. When your eyes are open, only if your eyes are open, only if you are conscious, right? Conscious of what? Conscious of who and what you are. So we're talking about self-mastery. And once you gain the consciousness of who and what you are, you will control your life. Your relationships will be better with your woman, with your children. Why? Because you will understand, I have the power to make this better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our relationship, right? What makes our relationship work? Me and you, Sabrina, what makes it work? What would you say makes it work?
It's because I first work on and check me. I know myself, and you first work on and check you because you know yourself. I don't try to fix you. I fix me. I fix my thinking, and then I come to you after I, get myself together, and you do the same. And of course, we're not always perfect in that because we still human. We still work on it, but for the most part, we work on ourselves. It was our communication. When I communicate with you, I do my best to be understanding of how I'm using my words to you. Because when I communicate with you, I look at it like I'm communicating with me because we are one. And so I try my best to regulate my emotions before I come to you, and you do your best to do the same. And so what makes us work is the fact that we want to work.
Mm, mm. Yeah. And that's, we both want it.
We want it.
Yeah, we both want it. And that was the thing, like, and relationship just means to relate. I don't care if it's your marriage, with your spouse or whatever,
Hmm.
or it's your best friend and business partner.
Or
Relationship,
co-worker,
the key
whatever.
word in
Hmm.
relationship is to relate, right?
Hmm.
How do we relate? And so in a marriage aspect, we've been taught to look at with the physical eyes so much.
Hmm.
As a man, we looking at how big the butt is, how sexy. Everything is the physical, right?
Hmm.
And then and the women, they're being indoctrinated and programmed with another aspect. It's physical too, and then it's
Hmm.
monetary, right?
Hmm.
But what you'll find the marriages that last, the partnerships that last, the businesses, partnerships or whatever, or marriage that last, are the people that truly relate with one another outside of the superficial or the physical things. You have to relate with each other spiritually and mentally. We got that has to be aligned, because the mental manifests physical. So you'll find the people that have, that have a lasting, flourishing relationship, they have a spiritual connection and a mental connection. Because guess what? That physical will not last.
It fades
Ladies,
away.
how big your butt is, there's a bigger butt. How big your breasts are, there's some bigger breasts. Guys, I don't care how much muscles you got or how handsome or how much women compliment you, there's somebody that looks better. You're going to get old, it's going to wrinkle, right? But what will last is the spirit. The mind, once it develops, oh man, that's something different. And so that's knowing thyself. Know yourself and who and what you are. And then once you know who you are and you work on who you are, I'm telling you, it's going to resonate with whoever you're trying to whatever you're trying to manifest, it's going to resonate with them. And then you're gonna connect somewhere. I can honestly say when we met, it was what you told me, something when it was soul recognition. Like we recognize each other.
And this was the first real conversation when we said this, because it was magnetic, because we both wanted the same type of things. It's like we was being drawn to each other because we had common visions of our future, of what we wanted out of life.
Yeah, exactly. And so, know thyself, that means so much. And it does get deep because there's levels to it. There's levels to it, I wanted to talk too about growth. Growth, understanding that life is about growth. 4 years ago, I got into commercial farming because we wanted to, and we will, and we are creating sustainable sources of income, not just for ourselves, but for other people, and building and developing a community. So got into farming because I said, we should control our own food source. We see cancer and all this stuff coming from foods that are being, pushed on us. What if we could control our own food source? So I got into farming. Well, little did I know, getting into the physical farming, it led my mind back to the mental aspect, because we had been established what's called the seed of life, the seed. And so everything is a seed, right? What happens with seeds? Seeds get planted, right? So us as people, you are a seed. What do they call the man semen? Seed. They say from his seed, right? Where was that semen or that sperm planted? In fertile ground. What was the fertile ground? It was the womb of the woman, right? In the ovum, right? The seed was planted in that egg. It was planted, right? This stuff just didn't happen. It was planted there, right? Then it fertilized, right? The egg became fertilized and produced you. And then what happened in the womb? We grew, right? We grow, right? So life is about growth, right? So when you came out of the womb, they call it birth. We call it birth here, but you grew so much that it was time to come out, right? To detach, right? But the baby constantly continues to grow. So the infant grows to 5, 10, 15, whatever, on up to 20, right? And guess what carries is inside of it? It's the same seed, right? What was planted in you now implant in someone else, and the life process goes. So everything is growth. But the thing is, we physically see the growth, but the most important growth is the mental growth and the spiritual growth. And that's what is hidden from us as a people. The understanding that we have to grow, right? The understanding that, so with me, myself, for those that don't know, I studied all religions. I studied them in the original language because I needed to grow. And as I was once in a belief state in certain organized religions, the study of them transformed me into a spiritual being, because I understand that it's all relative, right? Truth is relative. And so when you study these scriptures, when you study the ancient cultures, our ancient cultures where civilization started on the continent that's called Africa, right? When you study that, you understand that we were planted here and we are supposed to grow, right? We're supposed to grow mentally, spiritually, physically, in every aspect. But there's a concentrated effort to stunt our mental and spiritual growth, and physical too, right? Okay, so if you understand you are that seed, and the essence of you is divine, and you have to grow, then once you grasp that, then you understand I have to become more aware of everything. We call that awareness consciousness. So we have to live our life in a more conscious state, right? Once you grasp that you are here to grow. You know what the worst kind of fool is? An old fool. See, if you young and you foolish, people say, "Ah, he young." Right? Think about the mistakes you made when you were young, for those of us that are 30 or up or whatever, right? The mistakes you made when you was 19, you say, "Man, I was a young fool." But an old fool, I see some old fools sometimes. Like, I hear a guy, this old man, he just saying all types of stuff, disrespectful to women, and then I'm like, damn, woo, that's terrible. Because guess what? He's growing toward his death physically, and he's wasted his opportunity to mentally grow while he's here. You was planted here, right? You see what I'm saying? But somebody didn't nurture you, or you refused the nutrients that somebody was trying to give you. You see what I'm saying? So once you grasp that I'm here to grow, then you're more selective of the people you're around and the information that comes into you and what you take into your psyche. You become conscious. But you got to understand you're here to grow. Stuff don't just happen. For those of us that think they can just get rich overnight and they can say, "Oh, I'm just going to manifest $1 million. Oh, I believe it. Wake up to the $1 million." You don't understand that it's growth and there's a process, right? Everything is a process. Took you 9 months to develop to get out of the womb. So what makes you think you go snap your fingers and get anything, right? Okay. So you have to understand that life is about growth. And if you are supposed to grow, understand that you are a seed. Okay. And you was planted here. Okay. You're going to grow. You're going to expire one day here physically. You're going to go back to that dirt, back to that essence. Only the physical part of you, right? That spiritual part will go on. You will always be growing. All right. So when we're talking self-mastery, we want people to take advantage of this great thing called life, and the opportunity and the ability to grow. Because we're trying to grow people. You know, that's what we're doing this for. I'm not here talking for my health. I'm not doing this just to get paid. I'm doing this because this is part of my growth, and I'm sharing with people how to grow, right? You feel me? So it's about growing. So we started what's called the Seed of Life. We have the Seed of Life nonprofit or Seed of Life movement, which is the educational aspect to teach the young. And then we have the Seed of Life ministries, right? But everything deals with the seed, okay? Everything deals with that seed, right?
And tell them what the C stand for.
The seed, the acronym SEED means self, empowerment equals deliverance. So think about that. Self, empowerment equals deliverance. If you want to be delivered from the poverty that you're living in, if you want to be delivered from the clutches of that no good man or woman that you're dealing with, or that boss that you complain about, or the raggedy car, or the spiritual blindness, or the racial blindness, not knowing who you are and your foundation, your culture. If you want to be delivered from anything that you do not want, you have to acknowledge that seed, the self, must be empowered by you. You got it. You have to take the step forward. The helping hand you're looking for is at the end of your own arm, right? So we use the acronym SEED, self-empowerment equals deliverance. Once you empower yourself, you can be delivered from anything. Right?
Anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you over there? What's brewing in your mind?
Oh, just taking it all in and, just being remotivated by it, being re-empowered. You're thinking about the seed and there's all the seeds that we've been planting physically, mentally, spiritually. Give me 5 more minutes. Um, yeah, your munchkins coming in every 5 seconds.
My
But
seeds.
your seeds. But I love what you were saying with like knowing yourself, but I also wanted to point out knowing yourself is not just about only knowing the good stuff that you want, knowing the type of car you want to drive, the type of man or woman you want, knowing what type of house you want. Knowing yourself also includes the shadow sides of it. So you need to also know what triggers you. You need to know what makes you feel scared. You need to know what makes you feel like a failure. You need to know what makes you feel insecure. You just need to know yourself, and so that way when you're because it's okay to feel these things, but when you know it, then you don't lose it so much, and so it's like you were saying, you're to be able to grow, you need to know how to be conscious awareness. And so you need to be consciously aware. And so you need to be consciously aware of what's in your subconscious mind. So you need to be conscious aware of what you are thinking. Be conscious of what you're watching, what you're eating, what you're listening to, the type of people you're hanging around. You need to be conscious of your energy when people come around, because your body, your body is very intelligent, because we got God living in. God is us, we are God. And so therefore our body is always giving us indicators of what's good for us and who is good for us and who is not good for us. And just because people or something is not good for us, that doesn't mean that they're bad and they're evil and they're a demon. They just may not resonate with us or even in that moment. And so just listen to yourself more, trust yourself more, know yourself, know not only the good aspects of you or what people would say is good, or but also know the what I don't like to say bad, but the shadow self, like the things that you have been taught to not love about yourself and not accept about yourself. Because just because you don't love and accept it about yourself, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just you have been programmed to look at it in a certain way from the environments that you have grew up in. Because like you were saying, you was like, it's not victims, it's products of environments. And so it's like you're not a victim of the things that you have consumed or that you've been around, but you are a product of that environment, and you can shift it at any moment by shifting your mindset, shifting how you're looking at it, shifting how you're speaking about it, shifting what you're paying attention to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, this is what we do, and we do it for you, and we dedicated our lives to helping people become the best version of themselves. And in the process, we develop. We're all growing. We're all on different levels.
Our marriage is bigger than just us. Our marriage is bigger than just, like me having an awesome husband and him having an awesome wife. Like even when we was brought together, like our ordained minister even was saying, like, like us being, our mission is big. We came here to do we came here to do some stuff. And so like what we are here to do, the people we're here to touch, like that's what bring us together. That's what make our marriage so strong. That's what make our bond so strong, is because it's bigger than us. It's a bigger, like he was saying, it's so spiritual. It's so, it's so mental, the connection, that it's just like the little physical stuff that doesn't matter when it comes to the greater good of it all. Because being on these podcasts, or having these type of classes, or having these type of conversations to help elevate people, I'm telling you, like, since I met Chris, that's all he's ever been passionate about. He eat, live, sleep it. Like this is all he want to do, is empower people. He just want to speak life into people. He want to motivate people. He want to save the world, literally save the world. And that's what I love about him, is he's so pure. He's so pure at heart. Like we was raised so different. I love the light in you. I respect the light in you, and that's why I'm your partner. I got your back. I'm on your side with this. Is because like I see the good in you, and and it helps shift me. It's shifting me. It's changing me. So you, like I said, you're my better half, because it's like you're the pure parts. Because I'm that. Don't play with me. Don't do it. And so I just love the balancement that comes with this journey. And to know that like this is real, like he ain't just talking, like this is real.
No, we live it. We live it. We live it. So I hope that whoever hears this, I hope, you know, information touches you. And I hope that it inspires you. And I hope that, you know, the information resonates with you. So, you know, you can like, share, subscribe, reach out to us, comment, let us know that, you know, this affects you in a positive way. If it makes you mad, you can still let me know. Because, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes stuff has to rattle us, you know, and I'm not here to say, you know, listen and hold on to everything I'm saying, right? Because I have a lot of teachers, mentors that I study from. I will tell you, I don't believe or agree with everything, but what I do is I respect other perspectives. And I appreciate anybody that is helping us as a people move to a higher level of consciousness. And at the end of the day, that's all we want to do. We want to help shift people and help people be the best versions of themselves. That's why we do this. And that's why Masternomics exists. And so, hey, let's do it. Check us out. Look at some of the information we put out, the courses, look at some of the things we're building. We have the Phoenix Land Development. It's a project. We're developing acres of land. We're building sustainable sources of income to where people can feed themselves, developing community living. We have a spiritual aspect because we as a people, we're spiritual people, period. You know what I'm saying? You know, from the continent of Africa or for the Africans that was here prior to Columbus and traveled here and established this land. We're spiritual. We're spiritual. Melanated people are spiritual all over the planet. And so we have to have spiritual understanding and teaching to help cultivate the youth, you know, to develop as people. We need spiritual growth and mental growth. So we have that also. We definitely have the Masternomics business aspect, which helps develop people as entrepreneurs, right? Helps you figure out what you want to do something for yourself. Because a lot of us have just worked for other people, and that's okay as long as you're bettering yourself. But we should all aspire to do something for ourselves, and we need to do something to create generational wealth for our families. So we have a lot that to offer. So check us out. Any last words before we get out of here, my queen?
Nope, none at all. Just grateful. Peace, love you all. Blessings.
See you again. So.